Today we're very fortunate to have Farazana Karawalli, who's from Inspirational Minds. She's talking about small intention and lots of faith. Let's welcome her. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. I believe you need to have a little intention coupled with a lot of faith to be able to find your purpose. I was always encouraged to have aspirations, but when the time came to choose my path, I didn't know what to do. I tried quite a few jobs until one day I was peeling potatoes on the newspaper and my eyes came across a job advert for a learning disabilities nurse. Well, a learning disability nursing assistant. So alhamdulillah, I got the job and I was happy. I had my first child and decided not to return back. I wanted to qualify as a learning disability nurse. Knowing that it will be hard with a young child, I made an intention that if I got through my degree, I would use it wherever I was guided to. So I started my degree in learning disability nursing, but guess what? It was a buy one, get one free. This intense qualification had two professional qualifications, not just learning disability nursing, but a social work qualification as well. I wanted to practice as a nurse and not a social worker, but my destiny decided otherwise. There was a job freeze in the NHS, and I had no choice but to become a social worker, so I decided to work in child protection. After my second child, I decided to change to work in hospital discharge, hoping that I'd find my way back into the medical side again. Whilst working in hospital discharge, I found that many Muslims were not happy to discuss any of their social matters, more so if they were in close-knit communities like ours. Many of the patients insisted to go back home without any support or minimal support. But unfortunately, I'd later find them back in hospital further deteriorated. And it wasn't just the patients, the families as well would run the opposite direction. I also found patients that were under end-of-life care who had young children. And they also resisted all the support offered to them. And I asked myself, why? It became clear that this was all about stigma. I felt that something needed to be done. If I didn't do anything, I would be held accountable. So I had to try my best to make some kind of a difference. I was in hospital discharge for 5 years, and the last 2 years of that, I was simultaneously planning how to make a difference. I knew I couldn't do this alone. So I looked at different support structures within social services, within the health setting, and as well as voluntary sector. And I found that although there were services, they were quite isolated from each other. So I took into consideration all the pros and cons, and I tried to plan and find a way to develop a service that was a one-stop shop, an easy service that was easy to access, and it was an ideal service in an ideal world. I had no idea where I was going with this. I was just following whatever I felt I needed to do. I then started to network with different professionals, health and social professionals. And I also met with a friend that had a disability and a friend that was a carer to see what they felt would be an ideal service for them and what they feel should be offered to people that they know. I asked them to join me on my path, and they supported me. We decided to start off small, like a pilot scheme within our local community. And we wanted to provide a holistic service, something that took into consideration health needs, social needs, and emotional needs. We also needed an identity, something that was inspirational and attractive, that reflected on a team that was ready to support. So whilst looking for a name and a logo, we began to recruit. I found some really dedicated and energized professionals, an OT, a physio, some GPs, a counsellor. I had my two friends, the one with a disability and the carer, and also myself with the two qualifications. We had a team, we were ready, and we had a name, Inspirational Minds. So what is Inspirational Minds? It's a team of dedicated health and social care professionals, as well as carers and members of the community that want to offer back and make a difference to people and support them through their hard times. It's not a diagnostic service, it's a service that complements existing services. So we offer advice and support following a needs assessment. And we work with people until we feel that they've nearly reached a level of holistic well-being. We also support them to re-refer themselves back into services such as talking therapies, GPs, and other primary services. We provide support and advice via social media, speeches like today, workshops, events, and we also plan to have regular clinics, appointment-based clinics, but that depends on the demand that we get. We aim to understand stigma and manage stigma within the community, again by increasing awareness of health and social issues through talks and other avenues. And we also want to reduce social isolation and promote community integration by providing support to the vulnerable of the community, such as people with learning disabilities, the elderly. And we also want to educate members of the community about the support that vulnerable people require. So this was it. This was my purpose, to support people, to support others. I'd finally found my purpose in life with a little intention and a lot of faith. Wassalam.